and you are on India Fact Quizzes Game of Facts. This is something that we've been doing since 2020, and every Saturday at 5 p.m. sharp, we come up with a set of questions, and this is not general knowledge. It is not something that you can pick up from a book. It really is something which is that you really can answer very well if you observe, if you read a little more, if you read good quality information. There are some connections there, and and test your bias. So if you, sometimes we're so immersed and so involved in our own kind of thinking, and the people that we move around with, our social circles, we're very influenced by what they say. And there are all of these, somebody you love very much in your family has told you something and you believe, oh, that is what it is, but actually it is not. It takes a lot of time to sort of come out of that. You read something and it's said so convincingly that you feel this has to be real. And then to know that it's not real is kind of very upsetting. It takes time, to sort of come to that phase where you're able to look at these kinds of things objectively and say, oh, well, I like you very much, and what you're saying is actually factually incorrect. There's a long journey to get to that stage. And clearly, India Fact Quiz is that bullet train to get you to that station in the fastest possible time. All right, so that's really what we do, and we love what we do. And my colleague Meenal comes up with the Hindi quiz, I come up with the English quiz. Half the time we're setting up our quizzes separately, so I don't know what interesting questions she's got, and she doesn't know what questions I have. And it's always amazing when we exchange notes at the end of this. So it's all very simple. You will get a book if you're the winner of this quiz. And the book that we have for you this week is Tagore and Gandhi. And it's kind of interesting to get, Amrita's saying, send my prize. Okay. So Amrita, if your prize is what has to be sent from the publishing house, please let us know, because then we can push them and make sure the book comes out fast. Otherwise, I think if you are getting your prize from just the India Fact Quiz bookshelf, then it becomes so much more easier because we've cleared off all the backlog and we're kind of, we're there. So if it is one of those quizzes that you were on, which was supported by a publishing house, please just let us know which one. And Mayur, you as well. Please just put in a mail at contact@indiafactquiz.com, and we try our best to make sure that we give you some kind of a response, or we do something about it, right? We don't like to keep people's prizes from them, but it's just that sometimes it's really beyond our control. All right. So essentially, this is the book that you're going to get at the end of this quiz. It's Tagore and Gandhi. It's, a lawyer. That's what Gandhi was in his earlier profession, and then got into the freedom struggle. And here you have Tagore, who is, to a great extent, and not a correct parallel, but he is Leo Tolstoy of India, or let me say, Leo Tolstoy is Rabindranath Tagore of Russia. But here you have a novelist who looks at life in a very, very, in the minutest of details. And you have somebody who's got this larger vision, larger picture of saying, hey, India needs its freedom. And then, the kind of interplay that these two, personalities have, I think just absolutely makes for a fascinating book. It's by Rudrangshu, and that's what you're going to win if you make it through and you're on the podium for this week. All right, so you've logged into kahoot.it. I hope it's www.kahoot.it. You put in your name, the game pin is in the chat box, and just go ahead. The game pin is 817-5308. Rajiv, 817-5308. I don't have to tell you the rest of it because you know, Ayush, no, you're not late. Anyway, we have the 3 poll questions so that even if you've gotten late, something is, want to get yourself your cup of chai, whatever that is, you have a little bit of time. The poll questions give you that buffer. If you're new to the game, helps you with getting a little comfortable with the format. And then, we get into the quiz. So with this, I'm going to now share my screen and you will see your names very nicely out there. Welcome Mayur, Rajiv, Domi, Swati, Nishant. Hi, Nishant. Always nice to see our champions. Paris, Nicey, Anna, Adit, Prem, the Chabra families in full form. Sejal, Kishore, Ritika, Niharika, Pratham, Vinod, Shantanu, Bharat, Parisha, Dev, Sumed, Madan, Saurav, Kartikeya. Kartikeya is like one of those very easy winners of ours. So really, really nice to see you here. Saurav, Vanshika, Amrita. Amrita always somehow has this knack of coming in at the last minute, but she comes in so smoothly that it's quite all right. You never knew that she got in late. Hi Mukesh, Dia, Mervin, Nehal, Banu. Hi Dipankar, so good to see you. Thank you for gracing us on this Saturday. And AD, I'm now going to start the poll questions. 3 very simple, easy questions, no wrong answers, no right answers, and then we get into the quiz, right? So here we have it. It's the first poll question coming up. We're counting down to the year end now, so you'll see some numbers popping up. And we have a few questions for you. Nothing too complicated. Don't have to think too much about it. Whatever comes to your mind, just go ahead and answer it, yeah? So the first question we have is, you enjoy reading or watching, whatever you prefer doing, detective novels, or serials, crime stories or crime drama, science fiction stories or films, or your thing is horror stories and movies? Okay, so clearly detective novels, that's my favorite as well. And then we have science fiction, crime stories, and horror stories. And one of the very favorite authors that I have, and I discovered this author, by the way, very late, is this person called Joe Nesbo. And he writes, his characters are very, very interesting. And he's actually taken Shakespeare's Macbeth and he's written a story all over, very, very loyal to Shakespeare's Macbeth and his central characters, Macbeth, everything, and so beautifully in contemporary, I think it's Norway or one of the Scandinavian countries is the setting. It's just absolutely fabulous. But yes, we do have a lot of also very good, very, very good detective novelists, and the serials are absolutely, some of them are outstanding. Okay. A little bit of chatting there. If you had a chance, you would like to become a crime reporter, study forensic science, learn martial arts, or solve criminal cases? So hang in with us. We're going to take you down a path, and then you'll figure out what I was alluding to. Okay, so it is learning. Wow, okay. Solving criminal cases. I know it's really something, right? I mean, I would have picked that too. That's something that I'm very, very fascinated about, because I always feel at every crime scene, the person who has done the crime has left something there and they don't know. They possibly don't know. Unless you're really that psychopathic that you leave sort of signs, and then it's sort of interesting to nab them from there. Okay, and then we have martial arts. I think, yeah, I wish I had a chance and I would like to. And forensic science, again, very interesting. And then crime reporting, yes, but maybe it's a bit too gory for us. So anyway, here we come to the word cloud, which we absolutely love. One sport you suggest everyone should play in college or school. Is your thing badminton? Is it lawn tennis? Watching a lot of Wimbledon, and so you suggest that? Or, what would you think is that one sport that every school kid or college kid should be playing at this age? PUBG. Really, really? Okay. So we have chess, tennis, Ludo, yoga, hopscotch, carom, sleeping. There's an interesting sport. I think badminton just comes out really loud and clear. And I'm so glad that cricket actually has a challenger this time, because I was really, really expecting cricket to be all out there. Calisthenics, I think, yes. Carom, absolutely. Golf, truth or dare. Seriously, karate, kabaddi, hockey, running, swimming, basketball, shuttle, football. So it's quite interesting. Yeah. So you have badminton, cricket, and then football. Definitely on the list. Fantastic. Okay. So thank you all very much for this. I've got some ideas. And I'm going to force my children to play one of these sports, and then I'll say, no, IFQ quizzes have suggested one of these. With that apart, getting into the quiz right now. And before we start, just so you know, we're going to be covering one part of rule of law. And when we talk of rule of law, judiciary is very important. But you also have police or the enforcement services, which are very important. We're going to focus on police a bit, the police. And again, very simple questions. And we'll be sharing sort of details of this. There's a new study which is out, and I'm telling you, we're scrambling every time we get like a new study out there. We're fighting all over just to make sure we get our hands on it, because some very interesting insights come out of it. Yeah. So here we have it. The first question is a true or false, and you get double points for this. In India, it is mandatory by law to have CCTVs in each and every police station across the country. Is this statement true or false? Okay, so as per a Supreme Court ruling, it is in fact mandatory for every single police station in this country to have a CCTV. In fact, they even suggest the locations where the CCTV needs to be placed and in which direction, etc. So yes, clearly there is this understanding and recognition that, technology can actually play a role in bringing more transparency and ensuring that the law enforcers are able to do what they're supposed to do, right? So we'll take a look at the scoreboard, and you'll have the explanation in the chat, so you get a chance to see that. But right now, it is Parisha, Mayur, Adit, Pushpa, and Akhil who are on the scoreboard. And again, very dynamic game, so things will keep changing as we go along. Yeah. The next question. The only state to have met scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and OBC quotas for police officers and constables is Odisha or Karnataka, Gujarat or Bihar. Having representation of all sections of society especially when it comes to rule of law, whether it's judiciary or whether it is police, is extremely crucial, because only then can you expect to get some kind of justice. And there is an understanding and empathy and I would say persistence of law as well, when there is good representation in these kind of fields. And 13 of you that picked Karnataka, you are absolutely correct. In fact, I think that is quite astounding. One of the challenges that the police force have been having, and no state except for Karnataka, which did that only very recently, managed to get police officers and constables in the quotas. There is, in the police system, every police has reservation or quotas for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBC, and women, by the way. Karnataka is the only state that has managed to meet the SC, ST, and the OBC quotas. Okay, we'll take a look at the scoreboard. And now it's Adit, Kishore, Akhil, Anya, and Padmaja. It's getting a little dynamic, so this is going to be fun. The next question: X% of police stations do not have women help desks. Again, mandatory by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Is it 61%, 41%, 21%, or 11% of police stations that do not have women help desks? So I think the maximum number actually went for sort of the middle ground number and said, okay, let's hedge. Maybe it's a bit too unrealistic that 61% of our police stations have women help desks. But maybe 41% is not too bad number, and it is indeed the right number. It's 41% of police stations do not have women help desks. Again, here, when it comes to representation, if a woman goes to a police station, wants to file a complaint, there is no women help desk. It becomes a little challenging, right? Especially also if you have it in places where there are no women police officers in the police station, becomes even more challenging. The scoreboard again, it's Adit, Padmaja, Anya, Akhil, and Movin. So we'll have one person new coming in every now and then, which is really nice. Okay, so here we have it. Double points for this question. X% of districts in India have a cyber cell. So we talk a lot about the don't have, but we're talking about the districts in India that have a cyber cell. Is it 63%, 23%, 43%, or 3%? So a bit of a, I was surprised with this particular one because I really expected it to be probably 23%. I wouldn't have been surprised if it were even 3%. But it is in fact 63%. And given the fact that most of the crime now, whether we're talking about fraud or whether we're talking about, all forms of, threatening or whatever it may be, a lot of it we're seeing happen online. And I think it is interesting how really the police force has sort of, taken a front foot here, and 63% of districts in India have a cyber cell. Now, what kind of skill sets they have or they're able to sort of, do, that's a different question, but at least this is what it looks like at this point in time. By no means is this perfect, but let's not make good the enemy of perfect. So we'll go into the scoreboard, and it's interesting because Padmaja is now in lead, followed by Anya, Mayur, Paras, and one representation from the Chabra family has to be there. Otherwise, this game's a little incomplete. And Sagar is the highest climber with this question. We'll get into the next question. It's a true or false. Over the last 10 years, constable vacancy across the country has decreased. Constable vacancy means the number of posts of the constable which are not filled. So we have what this is saying is, over the last 10 years, the vacancies or the posts which are left vacant have decreased. Bit of a challenging one there. I would have thought it's such a coveted job. Whenever we talk about, the police enrollment camps that are there, and the papers will always have maybe a story or an article or a photograph or whatever, and there are thousands and thousands of young people who want to join the police force. And one would have thought, okay, clearly, I don't think there is any dearth of people who want to join, but the system itself clearly needs some kind of a change, because in fact, the constable vacancy or vacant positions for constables has in fact increased, which is not a very good sign, which means that then per population, you don't have enough of law enforcement officers. Okay, so it's now Padmaja, Anya, Nishant, Sri Harshita, and Mayur. Okay, this is moving along quite fast. So double points for this question. This state has a highest share of women police personnel. Is it Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, or Tamil Nadu? So there are, love it. I think all of you all know this quite well. So there are two states which actually do very well when it comes to, okay, correction. I won't say does very well standalone, but compared to its peers, the other states, it's doing very well. But when we talk about the national average and what our goal is of having 33% of the police force as women, clearly not close yet. But Tamil Nadu and Mizoram do pretty well when it comes to female representation of constables and officers. So officers is your senior inspectors, etc. Okay. So it's Padmaja, Anya, Sri Harshita, Mayur, and Nishant. And we'll get into the next question. I don't have a puzzle, which makes it easier. This state or union territory has the lowest share of women police personnel. We talked about the highest. We're asking about the lowest. Is it Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, or Bihar? Okay, so it is Jammu Kashmir. 10 of you that said Bihar, that's an interesting one. Andhra Pradesh doesn't do very well either. And yes, but Jammu Kashmir is extremely low. It is literally 2% that are women in the Jammu Kashmir police force. So not a very good sign. Here we have it, Padmaja, Anya, Sri Harshita, Mayur, and Nishant. Nothing really changed in this order. So we'll get to the next one, double points for this one. At the current pace, the number of years it'll take for the Indian police force to have 33% women representation. Is it 13 years, 3 years, 33 years, or 23 years? So if we just continue at this pace, how long will it take for us to see 33% of the police force as women? So 32 of you said 33 years, and you are correct. Some states will take disproportionately longer, or maybe not as much time, if they really sort of continue at the pace that they're going. because some of them are moving much faster and some states are moving very, very slow. But all in all, clearly, we need to just inject and make sure that we have more schemes or incentives for women to join both as constables and as police officers. And the scoreboard, again, is pretty dynamic. So I'll go to the next one, except that Yash is the highest climber. Punjab, Mizoram, and Jammu Kashmir have something in common. All these three states do not have a cyber cell in their district or have exceeded budgets in modernizing police stations, or do not have scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or OBC senior inspectors, or do not have women help desks in their police stations. The 10 of you that said do not have a cyber cell in their districts, that's right. So while the number looks good and it says 63% have, of the country's districts have a cyber cell, when we look at these very important states from a security or national security point of view, it's a little disturbing that not one of them have a cyber cell in their district. So clearly some states are doing much better, really, really well, and therefore the average is going up. But actually some states really haven't even sort of kicked off, and started putting this very important unit together. Okay, so bit of a change, Padmaja, Anya, Srihashta, Nihal, and Ritika. And the last question, this state recorded the sharpest decline in women police personnel. Is it Mizoram, Punjab, Bihar, or Odisha? So 14 of you went for Bihar, and you are correct. Now, this is a bit of a probably a conundrum, because Bihar was actually not doing too bad. And then suddenly, between 2019 and 2020, there was this massive, I would say massive because, it's a fairly decent percentage of women police personnel who just dropped off the force. And I think this is probably where the police force have to do some, and the Ministry of Home Affairs have to do their own introspection to understand what happened here and how can we get more women back. All right, so I've come to the end of this quiz. Before I show you the scoreboard, all of these questions have come from India Spend Stories. And there's this very wonderful initiative, which is the India Justice Project. And what they have been doing is exactly what we're trying to do, which is trying to get citizens and facts on issues that really matter, judiciary, police, etc., closer to the people, so that, and make it as humane and as interesting as possible. And they come out with the India Justice Report. All of this information is there. It's absolutely, absolutely fascinating. If you get a chance, please get onto indiaspend.com and you can read some of these stories. Our colleagues have written some fantastic stories about how, the lack of Kerala's police force having lesser women is impacting, the enforcement of rule of law, and a whole bunch of, and there are also issues of how our police force is very overworked and really don't get much time for this. So I think I think there must be some bug. There must be some bug, Ritika, but really appreciate you being honest about it, because I've been seeing this on my screen and I probably need to figure out what that bug is and probably clean it up. Let's keep this as a secret between you and me. But yeah, well played. And we'll see if you're on the scoreboard and you still feel you deserve the book. We'll have a separate discussion on that. Okay, so here we have it on the podium. In number 3 place, it's Sri Harshita. In the second spot, we have Anya. And in the first place for this week's Game of Facts, we have Padmaja. So fantastic work. Nehal and Mayur are runner-ups. So enjoy Tagore and Gandhi and let us know how you like the book. And until Meenal joins in, I'll probably just keep you company. And then I will promptly leave because she's got a very, very interesting, there she is. All right. Okay, so you're in good hands. Thank you all for joining and stay on for Meenal's quiz.
Hello, good evening, namaste. Thank you so much for joining Game of Facts. अभी you played the English quiz और अब हम हिंदी quiz खेलने वाले हैं. It's not going to be tough. आप जानते हैं कि हम जितना easy हो सके उतना easy बनाते हैं आपके लिए. So it's not going to be tough, and I'm sure that you will find it really interesting. Find the questions fascinating. क्योंकि जिस मोटिव से हम क्वेश्चंस बनाते हैं वो यही होता है कि every question it somehow makes you go, wow, okay, this is something that I didn't expect, or I have been completely on a different course of thought. So that's what we try to do. ये हम करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि हर क्वेश्चन के साथ हम आपका बायस जो है वो टेस्ट कर सके. और इसी के साथ we have another 10 questions in Hindi for you, लेकिन मैं उनको इंग्लिश में भी आपके लिए ट्रांसलेट करूंगी. Harish is asking if there are any prizes. Yes, there are prizes. English quiz में आपने अभी जो हमारे 3 winners हैं, they have won a fantastic book. और आज के जो हिंदी quiz में आप बुक जीतेंगे उसका नाम है गोदान और ये लिखी है मुंशी प्रेमचंद जी ने. लास्ट वीक भी हमने प्रेमचंद जी की एक किताब दी थी और क्योंकि उनकी इतनी सारी अच्छी किताबें हैं, so we don't want you to miss out on those, and that's why this week, this Saturday, today, we'll give you Godan by Munshi Premchand. और ये जो first publish हुई थी, this was in 1936, so long time ago, and it is considered one of the greatest Hindustani novels of the modern Indian literature. और ये मुंशी प्रेमचंद जी की आखिरी किताब है जो उन्होंने पूरी कंप्लीट की थी. This was his last complete novel जो उन्होंने लिखी थी. और इसका जो थीम है that is around economic deprivation and exploitation of the villagers. जो poor, जो गरीब लोग हैं उनकी कैसे exploitation होती थी. So that is what the theme is of this book. And आज के जो हमारे 3 winners हैं, आप ये किताब जीत कर जाएंगे. हिंदी क्विज का गेम पिन आपके साथ शेयर किया गया है चैट बॉक्स में. मैं अपनी स्क्रीन भी शेयर करने वाली हूँ so that आप जल्द से जल्द गेम में एंटर कर सकें. So here is the game pin for you. It's 322523. कोई भी पोल क्वेश्चंस नहीं है. That's because you've already played one quiz. So आपकी जो एक प्रैक्टिस कह सकते हैं वो हो चुकी है. So this should be quite easier and faster for you. और we have true and false हमारे पास जिसमें आपको चूज करना है सही या गलत. Multiple questions, multiple choice questions हैं और एक puzzle question है. Let's hope कि इस बार वाला easy होगा. But it's going to be easy, it's going to be fun, and we'll soon begin. But if there's anybody else जो अभी भी join करना चाहते हैं, so जल्दी से game पे enter कीजिए. It's 322523, and जैसे ही मैं start press करूंगी, we'll begin with our quiz. There are no poll questions. So you have to be the fastest to answer the questions and you have to be the correct one to answer the questions ताकि आपको उसके ज़्यादा points मिले. And जैसा कि मैं हर बार कहती हूँ, Rashmi also keeps telling you, stay till the end. The scoreboard changes at any point in time. So you might not know कि आप starting में you're like, okay, first 3 questions I got everything wrong. But you know what? Maybe the last question or maybe the last few questions do it for you and you win the quiz. तो बहुत सारे डबल पॉइंट्स क्वेश्चंस हैं. आई थिंक मैंने बहुत बोल लिया है. लेट्स जस्ट बिगिन फॉर टुडे. हिंदी क्विज की शुरुआत करते हैं और ये आज का वीक 11 है हिंदी क्विज की. ओके, ऑन योर मार्क, गेट सेट, गो, लेट्स बिगिन. हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन रेलवे से संबंधित अप्रिय घटनाओं में मरने वालों की संख्या में कमी आई है. There is a decrease in the number of persons who have died on railways in untoward accidents. क्या ये सही है या गलत? जो रेलवे से संबंधित जितने भी ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स हैं जहां पर जो लोग मरे हैं उसकी जो संख्या है उसमें कमी आई है. 25 ऑफ यू गॉट दिस करेक्ट. ये सही है. और ये एनसीआरबी डेटा के तहत विच इज जो सबसे लेटेस्ट जो हमारे पास अवेलेबल है दैट इज 2020 का डेटा. और उसके हिसाब से देयर इज अ कंसिडरेबल डिक्रीज इन द नंबर ऑफ पर्सन्स हु डाइड ऑन रेलवेज इन अनटुवर्ड एक्सीडेंट्स. और जो अदर इवेंचुअलिटीज हुई हैं जैसे कि ट्रेसपास या सुसाइड या इलेक्ट्रोक्यूशन, इन सब की वजह से जो भी डेथ्स हुई हैं दे हैव बीन लेसर दैन व्हाट इट वाज इन 2019. तो इसके साथ हम चलते हैं हमारे अगले क्वेश्चन पर, लेकिन उससे पहले स्कोरबोर्ड. तो पहले क्वेश्चन के साथ वंशिका, परीशा, मेरविन, मयूर और पारस they've taken the lead. They're on the scoreboard, but let's see who jumps on the scoreboard after the second question. So here we have this next question for you. डबल पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे इसके. 2019 से 2021 तक रेलवे ट्रैक पर हाथियों की मौत की संख्या घटी है. क्या ये सही है या गलत? नंबर ऑफ एलिफेंट डेथ्स ऑन रेलवे ट्रैक्स हैज डिक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 2019 टू 2021. 2019 से 2021 तक रेलवे ट्रैक पर हाथियों की मौत की संख्या घटी है. Okay, almost an equal answer. 20 of you said true, 22 of you said false. ये गलत है. जो उनकी डेथ, जो नंबर ऑफ डेथ्स, एलिफेंट डेथ्स हैं ऑन रेलवे ट्रैक्स, दैट्स नॉट डिक्रीज्ड, इट्स एक्चुअली इंक्रीज्ड. अगर हम डेटा की बात करें तो 2019 में इट वाज द नंबर ऑफ रिपोर्टेड एलिफेंट डेथ्स ऑन रेलवे ट्रैक्स वर 10, 2020 में 16 और 2021 में 19. सो एवरी ईयर थोड़ा थोड़ा इंक्रीज हुआ है. एंड जस्ट सो यू नोट कि ये सिर्फ रिपोर्टेड नंबर ऑफ डेथ्स हैं. जो एक्चुअल में है वो इससे ज्यादा हो सकती हैं, शायद होंगी भी, और उसके बारे में अभी हमें पता नहीं है. बट एज पर द डेटा इट्स 2019 had the lowest number of deaths as in comparison to 2021. और इस क्वेश्चन के बाद स्कोरबोर्ड. See, this is what the double points question does to your scoreboard. We have Adit who's taken the lead. Then we have Paras. Swati has just entered the scoreboard. उनके बाद है परीक्षा, कार्तिकेय, और इस क्वेश्चन के साथ राजीव is the highest climber. Quite interesting. Let's see कि हमारा अगला क्वेश्चन क्या है. जो हमारे फर्स्ट 4 क्वेश्चंस है उसकी सोर्स हम एक साथ शेयर करेंगे, काइंड ऑफ रिलेटेड टू द रेलवे एंड रेलवे डेथ क्वेश्चंस. रेलवे ट्रैक पर अनाधिकृत रूप से प्रवेश करना यानी कि अनऑथराइज्ड ट्रेसपासिंग दंडनीय अपराध है. अनऑथराइज्ड ट्रेसपासिंग ऑन द रेलवे ट्रैक इज अ पनिशेबल ऑफेंस. क्या ये सही है या गलत? ओके, दिस वाज एन इजी वन. आई होप कि काफी लोगों को सही ही इसे चूज करेंगे. एंड 31 ऑफ यू गॉट इट करेक्ट. जो रेलवे प्रेमिसेस हैं इंक्लूडिंग द रेलवे ट्रैक्स, उन पर unauthorized trespassing is a punishable offense under section 147 of Railway Act 1989. और 2021 में according to the latest data that we have, total of 82,628 persons were prosecuted and convicted for trespassing. 2021 में लगभग 82,000 जो पैसेंजर्स, जो लोग थे, उन्हें ट्रेसपासिंग की वजह से उन्हें प्रोसिक्यूट और कन्विक्ट भी किया गया. और इस क्वेश्चन के बाद हियर इज द स्कोरबोर्ड. क्वाइट सेम, आई मीन टोटली द सेम. तो चलते हमारे अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ. मे बी स्कोरबोर्ड कुछ चेंज लाएगा बिकॉज डबल पॉइंट्स. हाथियों की उपस्थिति के बारे में ट्रेन चालकों यानी कि जो ट्रेन ड्राइवर्स हैं को सचेत करने के लिए उपयुक्त स्थानों पर साइन बोर्ड्स की व्यवस्था है. There is a provision of signage boards at suitable points to alert train drivers about elephant presence. क्या ये सही है या गलत? ओके, 29 ऑफ यू गॉट दिस करेक्ट, ये सही है। और जो एक कमिटी है विच इज बिन कंस्टिट्यूटेड बिटवीन द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवे एंड मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज, जिनका जो एम है वो ये है कि जो भी एलिफेंट डेथ्स होती हैं जो रेलवे ट्रैक्स की वजह से होती है, रेलवे ट्रैक्स पर जो एलिफेंट डेथ्स होती हैं उन्हें रोका जा सके, प्रिवेंट किया जा सके। एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस इनिशिएटिव, दिस कमिटी, a number of preventative measures have been taken, जिसमें से एक ये भी है कि जहां पर भी जो भी एलिफेंट का एरिया होगा, जहां पर एलिफेंट्स की होने की संभावना है, वहां पर ये बोर्ड्स लगे गए होते हैं ताकि ट्रेन ड्राइवर्स जो हैं दे आर अवेयर दैट एन एलिफेंट माइट जस्ट पास और दिस एरिया माइट हैव एलिफेंट्स, तो ताकि वो सचेत रह सके या उन्हें पता हो कि कहाँ पे एलिफेंट आ सकते हैं। So with this, here we have our scoreboard again. Slight shift, I think, same people on the scoreboard, just a few places here and there. तो चलते हैं हमारे अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ, और ये है ऑनलाइन गेम के माध्यम से आत्महत्या के लिए कोई नया मामला दर्ज नहीं किया गया है। No new cases have been registered for suicide through online games. क्या ये सही है या गलत? Okay, this one only 11 of you got it correct, और ये सही है क्योंकि जो हमारे पास लेटेस्ट डेटा है एज पर द एनसीआरबी डेटा विच आई टोल्ड यू इज अप टिल 2020, कोई भी नए केसेस नहीं है जो 2019 और 2020 में दर्ज किए गए हों अंडर मोटिव्स ऑफ साइबर क्राइम्स फॉर अबेटमेंट ऑफ सुसाइड थ्रू ऑनलाइन गेम्स। 2017 और 2018 में फिर भी कुछ केसेस थे जो रजिस्टर किए गए थे। 2017 में अबाउट 5 नंबर ऑफ केसेस और 2018 में 2 केसेस फॉर सुसाइड थ्रू ऑनलाइन गेम्स, लेकिन 2019 और 20 में कोई भी ऐसा केस दर्ज नहीं किया गया है। और इस क्वेश्चन के बाद here we have the scoreboard again. I think total shift we have Shetty from nowhere entering the scoreboard. Then we have Sagar again from nowhere entering the scoreboard, but you have 5 correct answers in a row, which is great. Then we have Adit, Paras and Swati. So let's go on to our next question. Double points मिलेंगे आपको इसके लिए। केंद्रीय जांच ब्यूरो यानी कि सेंट्रल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन को राज्य के अधिकार क्षेत्र में जांच करने के लिए राज्य सरकार से अनुमति की आवश्यकता नहीं है। Central Bureau of Investigation doesn't need a go-ahead from the respective state governments for conducting investigation in its jurisdiction. क्या ये सही है या गलत? Okay, 21 of you got this correct. ये गलत है। As per the section 6 of Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, DSPE Act 1946, जो सीबीआई है, केंद्रीय जांच ब्यूरो यानी कि सेंट्रल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, इट नीड्स द कंसेंट फ्रॉम द रिस्पेक्टिव स्टेट जहां पर उन्हें इन्वेस्टिगेशन करनी है। तो दे नीड द कंसेंट फ्रॉम द रिस्पेक्टिव स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स फॉर कंडक्टिंग इन्वेस्टिगेशन इन इट्स ज्यूरिसडिक्शन। इसी के साथ हम चलते हैं अगले क्वेश्चन पर, बट उससे पहले ये रहा स्कोरबोर्ड। शेट्टी, अदित, स्वाति, परीक्षा एंड पारस। Moving on to our next question, double points for this one again. इस राज्य ने जांच के लिए सीबीआई की आम सहमति यानी कि जनरल कंसेंट वापस ले लिया है। This state has withdrawn general consent to CBI for investigation. आपके ऑप्शंस है उत्तर प्रदेश, पंजाब, कर्नाटक और हिमाचल प्रदेश। पिछले क्वेश्चन में हमने देखा कि जो सीबीआई है इट रिक्वायर्स a consent, a go ahead from the state governments. तो कुछ state governments ऐसी हैं जिन्होंने ये जो general consent है they've taken it, they've withdrawn it. तो is it उत्तर प्रदेश, पंजाब, कर्नाटक और हिमाचल? Okay, 16 of you got this correct. It is पंजाब। पंजाब के साथ ऐसी और 8 states भी हैं जो इस एक्ट के प्रोविजंस हैं, सेक्शन 6 ऑफ द डीएसपी एक्ट, इसके अकॉर्डिंग जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स है they've granted a general consent to CBI for the investigation of some specific cases, कुछ specific type of cases, कुछ specific class of offenses जो specific crimes हैं, उनके लिए specific categories के लिए the CBI has been granted a general consent from the states all over India. लेकिन ऐसी 9 states हैं जिन्होंने ये consent को भी withdraw कर लिया है, and these 9 are छत्तीसगढ़, झारखंड, केरला, महाराष्ट्र, मेघालय, मिजोरम, Punjab, Rajasthan, and West Bengal. So Punjab out of these 4 is the correct option. And let's see if got this correct. Adit Paras Shetty, Dipankar has just come onto our scoreboard. Welcome to the scoreboard. And on 5th position, we have Tim. Okay, moving on to our next question. जनसंख्या का प्रतिशत जिसके पास 4G नेटवर्क है. Percentage of the population that is covered with 4G network. 88%, 98%, 80% या 90%. Okay, 21 of you got this correct. I'm really sorry, मेरी throat में थोड़ी सी problem हो रही है. That's why a little off on the audio. Okay, 21 of you got this correct. 98% is the correct answer. 9 of you went with 88, 5 of you went with 80, 4 of you went with 90%. इस वक्त at present जो mobile networks in India है, they are serving more than 115 crore people, subscribers, as on 31st December 2021. और जो हमारी population है उसका nearly 98% जो है that is covered under the 4G network. So with this, here we have the scoreboard again. Similar names on the scoreboard: Adit, Paras, Dipankar, Tim, and Swati. So moving on to our next question. I think it's the second last question. So let's hope you get this correct. Double points for this one. अंतर्राष्ट्रीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन यानी कि इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन पर भारतीय उपग्रहों सैटेलाइट्स की संख्या आपको बतानी है. Is it 4, 2, 6 or 0? Number of Indian satellites at International Space Center. हम International Space Center की बात कर रहे हैं. आपके हिसाब से वहां पर जो इंडियन सैटेलाइट्स हैं कितनी हैं? Is it 4, 6, 2 or 0? Sixteen of you, very smart. 0 is the correct answer. जो International Space Station है, there are no satellites of India at the International Space Station. International Space Station is a modular space station which is in lower Earth orbit. और अभी it involves 5 space agencies जहाँ पर जो पूरे विश्व की जो 5 space agencies हैं उनकी satellites वहाँ पर हैं, which is NASA from US, ESA from Europe, JXA from Japan, CSA from Canada, and Roscosmos from Russia. So with this, the scoreboard, Karthik just entered. I think Dipankar got this one wrong, but here we have Adit, Paras, Tim, Swati, and Karthik. Let's go on to our next question. Puzzle question, last question hai for double points. इन राज्यों में खाद्यान्न भंडारण क्षमता यानी कि फूड ग्रेन स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी के आधार पर इन्हें उच्च से निम्न में रैंक करें. रैंक फ्रॉम हाई टू लो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फूड ग्रेन स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी इन दीज स्टेट्स और यूनियन टेरिटरीज. आपके ऑप्शंस है उत्तर प्रदेश, पंजाब, हरियाणा और मध्य प्रदेश. तो इन स्टेट्स में जो आपके हिसाब से फूड ग्रेन कैपेसिटी है, जहां पर सबसे ज्यादा फूड ग्रेन कैपेसिटी है, दैट स्टेट विल कम at the first position और उसके बाद आप बाकियों को स्टैक करेंगे. तो फूड ग्रेन स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी के आधार पर इन्हें रैंक करना है. 30 more seconds you have. सोच समझ के आंसर कीजिएगा बिकॉज थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है, बट यू माइट गेट इट करेक्ट. Okay, one of you got this correct. Not bad at all. I was just hoping कि किसी का तो सही हो जाए, but okay, that's nice. At least one of you got this correct. Do tell us who got it correct. Actually, we might come to know by the end of the quiz. I mean, when I press next now. तो जो correct order है, that is Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Yes, Madhya Pradesh is at the lead with about 204 lakh metric tons of storage capacity. उसके बाद है Punjab at 179 lakh metric tons. Then Haryana at 100 lakh metric tons, and Uttar Pradesh इन सब में से सबसे कम है, which is at about 55 lakh metric tons. So with this we come to an end to our today's quiz. और जो हमारे आज के 3 विजेता हैं वो गोदान जीत कर जाएंगे. तो देखते हैं कि हमारे विनर्स कौन हैं. On the 3rd position in today's quiz, Hindi quiz, we have Dipankar. Wow, you just moved away from the scoreboard. You've come back on the podium. That's great. Paras is on the 2nd position, and आज के quiz के विजेता हैं Adit. Congratulations to all of you. Our runners up are Tim and Swati. Well played. And आप अपना prize claim कर सकते हैं by the link which is given to you in the chat box. Don't forget to take the screenshot. Or Dipankar, you're saying you just got you got it and just lucky. That's great. See, this is what I've been talking about, that you might feel that you're just losing and you're not getting any answer correct, or maybe you're slow, but by the end of it you end up on the podium, which is, I think, what matters. Thank you so much for joining us today, और आशा करते हैं कि अगले हफ्ते भी आप हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे. It was great having you. और जो भी आप में से ईद सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, आप सबको ईद मुबारक. ये जो फेस्टिवल है, I hope it brings a lot of togetherness and happiness in your life. Till then, have a great weekend and see you all next Saturday. Thank you.